Hey guys, today we're going to be doing troubleshooting diagnostic of the ABS code on this BMW M3 using the Foxwell NT510 scanner. So it's kind of mysterious when you get the ABS code what the problem could be, and it's difficult to guess what you need to resolve. So luckily this particular code reader will allow you to run diagnostics codes. And not only be able to look at the code, but actually do some troubleshooting to see exactly what's at fault. So we'll be plugging this thing in and checking to see what's actually wrong first. Then we're going to be looking at replacing the appropriate parts. We're going to go ahead and start up the car and see what's actually showing up on our display. So let's start up the car. It immediately shows that there is an ABS code. There's some sort of a fault that we need to look at. So next step, we're going to go ahead and plug this code reader into the Obd port. So your Obd port is located by your driver's sides behind this cover here. We're going to just go ahead and pop that off, and we're going to plug in this connector. The one thing I've noticed already is that the connector is a little wide on the sides here because of these wings, and they tend to hit against this plastic up here. So just push it in as hard as you can, as far as you can, so you can get power to the scanner. Once that happens, looks like it's being powered up, so that's good. And the first thing that we want to do is go to the BMW options here on the screen. So let's go over to the right. Go ahead and load the data, and we're going to go ahead and select BMW. It gives you three options: BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce. And then go through manual selection. You can pop in your VIN, I suppose, but let's just see what it gives you when you get to manual selection. So it gives you different series to select from. We're going to go ahead go upside down here and look for. Actually, yeah, we're gonna go to the 3 series. Okay, 3 series, because this is a M3. And let's see if we can kind of drop down, because there's gonna be a lot of options here. Let's see if we can find E92, E93, right? This is our model car. M3 is our E92. I'm on the coupe. And this is the one that has a lengthy list of different models. We're gonna go actually upside down. Let's go bottom up and find the M3 Coupe. Okay, we're gonna go down to the USA spec, and then it only gives us this model of cars. This is a 2011. I don't see 2011 as an option, but I think 2009 will suffice. I imagine that if you do like a firmware update to this thing, it'll give you more options, but we'll stick with this. Okay, looks good. We're going to go ahead and say yes, so F3 to confirm. And then we're going to go ahead and load the data. Alright, we're going to get into the diagnostics next, so we can look at the codes. We can actually try clearing the codes, see what it does, and see if they will come back. So giving this a moment. Okay, so it's telling us to turn off ignition and restart. Let's do that. Okay, clutch engaged. Let's restart it. Just gonna hit in position so we can see what it does. Okay, say okay, and then let's go to diagnosis. Do a quick scan. Okay, so it's now going to connect to all the CAN bus systems. Let's see if it will pull up on the codes. Okay, so far so good. EGS next. The one that we want to get to quickly is the ABS codes. Once we hit that, it's fair to assume that there's no other codes in the system, and we'll pause. Alright, we found the fault. Let's go ahead and pause. So we're going to hit F2. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into the ABS fault. Let's take a peek at it. Okay, let's take a look at the codes, read codes. Okay, wheel speed sensor. Looks like rear left. Okay, so that's the code that we're getting. We can also diagnose this. So let's go ahead and click on back. Let's go back. We need to save this. We can clear the codes and see if it comes back. But you know what? Let's do an active test. Or live data. Let's do live data. So live data should actually show us the data points for all the wheel speed sensors. So let me get my foot in the door here. And what I want to do is I actually want to roll the car just a tad bit to see what information we're receiving from the wheel speed sensors. Okay, with the data loaded, we want to go ahead and find our wheel speed sensors. Let's go through here. All right, here we go, wheel speed sensors. Let's go into that. Pull it up. And we want to select all, that way we can see all sensors in one view. So let's go ahead and press that, say OK. Okay, so now we have our readings for all the individual wheel speed sensors, right? They're all in the view right now, all 4, which is great. All we need to do right now is kind of roll the car and see what's actually happening with the live data. So I'm going to go ahead and get it into gear, and I'm not even going to give it any gas. I'm just literally going to roll it using the clutch. So let's go ahead and go. Okay, and let's read what numbers we're getting. Alright, we're going straight. As you can see, all of the wheel speed sensors gave us a reading minus the one that's rear left. So it's actually correct. The rear left wheel speed sensor is not providing any value, which means that it's faulty. So our next step will be to double check to make sure that it's still connected properly. And if it's connected and still not giving us any values, we're going to go ahead and replace it. Alright, so what we're going to be doing now is pulling out the wheel speed sensor. It'll take an Allen wrench to get to it. And the wheel speed sensor is located, I'll have to kind of point out to it with my hand here, or maybe with the Allen wrench. It is located right over here. That's it right there. That is the sensor itself. It kind of goes inside that housing, and then this cable runs across and kind of feeds up through here in the back. So we need to disconnect it back here once we get the wheel speed sensor itself out. All right, the wheel speed sensor has been replaced. Everything should be fished out correctly in there, tightened up. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the car, get it off the stand, and clear the codes, make sure everything's fine. So let's go ahead and start her up. My lovely assistant is going to start up the car. Okay, that's good. A little bit more. All right. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and clear the codes really quick. We're going to go to Diagnosis and quick scan to pull up the codes. I'm going to come back to the ABS codes. Here we go, we got fault. to erase the codes and say yes. Down, clearing. Reading codes. Pass, no fault. And if we look up now, up on the screen, there are no more ABS codes. I think we're good to go. What we're going to do real quick is back it up and do a check. We're going to go to live data. Here, we're going to go look at the wheel speed sensor info. And we're going to roll the car and see how it's going to behave. Just the fact that we're not getting codes is already telling me that we're good to go. I believe it's going to be wheel speed sensor. Should show all of us, so we're going to go ahead and select all, say OK. And okay, right now we're at 0 because we're not moving. We're going to go ahead and roll with the car. I'll take this.
Okay.
So we can kind of see what it's doing. Go ahead and slowly roll it. Go ahead, keep going. Yep, we're good, we're good. Alright, it's no longer showing us zeros. It's actually reading the data from the wheel spin sensor on the rear left. We're good to go. You can go ahead and disconnect. Give it a few revs in a minute. Alright, let's hear. Look, give her a rev. A little more.